is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down, handoff. Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And it is time for a fabulous Friday edition of Talkin Cowboys from inside the SWBC Mortgage Studios here.
Well, you need to change that lineup. It hadn't worked the last 3 weeks.
That's
that
right.
Fabulous Football Friday bit.
A freakish Friday.
Yeah,
How's that?
We need to change that up right now.
Fridays are good.
It's let's put it this way. It's Philly Friday. Does that
There
get
you
you
go.
fired
That's good.
up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is Philly Friday here at the Star, and the Cowboys getting set to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is a big game on Sunday night at AT&T Stadium. Happy you could be along. The usual places that you watch and listen to Talking Cowboys. And also, we're on Texas 21.
Ah, there we go.
It is a Philly Friday on Texas 21. And by the way, I've got some good news right off the bat for you guys.
Oh, good.
Remember, this was a 3-week pilot on Texas 21?
Oh, we're desperate for entertainment now, huh?
And apparently we've got an extension.
Oh,
All right.
My understanding is we've been extended for another month.
Another month.
Congratulations.
Look at that, Brian. We got renewed.
yeah. How about that? Yeah.
So be on notice. Have another good month.
That's right. That's right.
So
Yep.
do we, when it's Philly Friday, do we spell Friday PHR?
If you'd like to do it in your own mind that way, Mickey, you go right ahead.
I think that's for my column this today. Yes.
All right. There you
Philly
go.
Friday.
All right. I am Bill Jones with Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips, and Brian Broaddus. We got a special guest in studio as well, Cash McCourt.
Cash got a good handshake.
Yes, fourth grader from Johnson Elementary in South Lake, and Cash is going to sit in. And who knows, by the end of this show, he might put Mickey to a challenge.
Oh.
We shall see.
We can let him do the read.
And by the
now.
way, Cash is not wearing Philly green. That's his camo
those camo.
Dak
Yeah.
Cowboys jersey.
We got that.
He wears number 4 on his Green Dragon team in South Lake and plays quarterback. And so there you go.
I wondered when we were in Coppell why we could never beat Carroll.
The Green
It's
Dragon.
because the Green Dragon started,
that's right.
really young.
That's
Got a
exactly
good
right.
system down there.
So
Yeah,
the
they
system
gotta-
is so good, the name's the same?
Yeah, they got a
They're all
feeder
Dragon.
system
It's
here.
called Dragon Youth Football.
Yeah,
Yeah.
half of them
So-
are backup quarterbacks in the league.
That's right.
or
They
doing-
all wear number 4 in honor of Chase Daniel.
There you go.
Or Dak Prescott in
There
the
you go.
case of Cashier.
There you go.
All right.
Chase Daniel, by the way.
You got your Missouri on. All right. Jason Garrett just had his press conference.
He did.
And so I was giving Cash a tour of the place, so I missed Jason Garrett's press conference. So fill me in. What happened? Anything?
Sounds like the majority of the guys that have been banged up are going to try to give it a go today. See what they can do, with the exception of Mick, Anthony Brown, and Joe Looney, whose back is tightened up on him late this week. But some of those big names, Marty Cooper, going to try to give it a shot.
Well, they
See what
had
he
to
can
be.
do.
They had to be encouraged yesterday to get to this point by what they saw from Tyron Smith, going out there, and Lyle Collins going out there and trying to give it a go with the right ankle and the left knee. But that's if you're one of those people that kind of believe in, okay, we got to have these players. Well, at least you got some good news today, you got some good news coming in that they're going to practice. And I think the dangerous thing you have to worry about in this game, though, is do you have another situation like what happened with Marty Cooper? Can these guys play a whole game? Can they find a way to play 65, 70 plays, maybe have to take this thing into overtime? And, you're happy about the possibilities, but, man, that's just a dangerous thought. But they have guys ready. Cam Fleming has worked, and then also Brandon Knight has worked at that tackle spot, and they've worked all those receivers if something happens again to Amari Cooper. So, let's see how it all plays out. But at least that's some positive news going into this game.
And I'll guarantee you, after what happened last week with Amari, then either today or tomorrow, those guys are going to have to prove that they're good to go.
Right.
And there's no, I'm good, and then you go out there and play 3 plays. Because that shocked everybody. They had no clue that he was feeling that bad. But I'll tell you what, after he showed me the bruise on his leg yesterday, oh, my gosh. I mean, it's like this big. I'm not exaggerating. And it's red, and it's blue, and it's purple. And the weird thing was he explained how he got hit on the outside of his thigh, but the bruise is on the inside. And he showed us the
you know it's bad if it's on the inside like that.
They call it a thigh pad. It's smaller than this.
Yeah.
It's this. Basically,
and for those of you not watching, Mickey picked up his cell phone.
Yeah. Well, that's why the camera's here, right?
But
should be watching. You should be watching. and he showed
Channel 21.
And he showed us the thigh pad that he had on in the Packer game.
Yeah.
And it cracked when the guy hit it.
It's like a biscuit.
It's like cracked in half. And it's like, that's all you wear?
Yeah.
I was like, come on.
Yeah.
I would have had the biggest thing ever they'd give you.
This is like 1968, though. Bob Hayes had those
right.
big old pads.
That's
but
right.
Nowadays, these guys, it's all about the uniform. How can we get around the rules? And there's a reasons why they have the rules: thigh pads, knee pads. You have to have both. But yeah, that's a unfortunate injury right there.
It was the former way back. He was a former basketball player, had never played football, and they were in training camp, and he had these irritations on his leg, and he didn't understand why. He had the thigh pads in backwards.
That's right. Who was that? I can't remember.
Was it Rayfield? It was one of those guys that was.
I think it was Rayfield. It was.
Basketball
I think
player.
it was. I think it was Rayfield. He tells the story, and he made it all the way to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, with backwards pads.
Yeah,
not bad.
So anyway, just understand his injury's real. It's not like something made up. I
would imagine if Marty Cooper's not playing.
We asked our buddy Danny McRae, who's now upstairs with us, who played in a long time at safety, and he said, he's had like a hip pointer type deal. Those things can be debilitating.
Yeah.
Based on, I know it's technically bruised and all that, it's an issue. But to Brian's point, you've only got so many guys that you can keep inactive. They got to figure out if he's got, Tyrone Smith a couple years ago, I believe, lasted one series at left tackle, tried to give it a go, and then wasn't able the rest of the game. So Friday is a big day. But you've also got to see how it responds up to Sunday. And I'm sure these guys, I bet a lot of them are going to be questionable, listed as questionable, and then see how they do game time leading up to see if they can go.
Randall Cobb, what are we thinking on him?
He's going to try to give it a go, too.
I think he's a go. Even though he hadn't practiced yet.
Yeah.
But he'll try to go today, and I think the back's loosened up. So I think with him, Byron Jones, they're just trying to get him the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they feel good about him. The offensive tackles, I think, got to show him something.
Right.
They're optimistic, but it's not a sure thing for sure. I think Zach Martin with the ankle, I think he goes. But yeah, Anthony Brown's out, and then we'll see what happens with Cooper and the two tackles.
That'd just be a huge boost if they can get all these guys back. Credit to the players for wanting to get back, and credit to Britt Brown and that staff and Jim Mauer and those guys for how hard they work every day and night to try and make sure. I mean, they all realize the importance of this game. They know where they're at. They're thinking, man, if we could just win this one, we got a bye week, and we could set this thing up and try and make a run at the end of the day. And it's important. Guys, if guys are playing with, like Mickey described, with huge, bleeding spots in their leg, that to try and get out there for their team and for their coach and everybody else, then I think that says a lot about how important this really is.
And they're never going to put somebody out there that just can't do it. But at the same time, it's nice to have this bye coming up, but this team's not 5-1. They recognize the urgency of the situation, and really on the Eagles too. I'm sure there's guys for Philly right now that are going to try to gut through this thing and see if they can get first place.
And as Jason said this week, the bye doesn't affect who plays on Sunday.
No.
Nor it should. These games are all important. Like he says, you only get 16. From a rehab standpoint, we saw what they're doing. They're going 2 by 2 by 2. So the two cornerbacks go and do their rehab. The two tackles go out and do their rehab. The two wide receivers go out. I mean, they got so many
Noah's
guys.
Ark, kind of like Noah's Ark.
It's like, and it's like, poor Britt. He almost doesn't have enough time during the day to get everybody rehab.
Yeah.
So
they do a great job with that stuff, though.
But you're right. The
just
Eagles,
hope it's not a flood.
The Eagles are in the same spot.
Right.
They had 6 guys that didn't practice yesterday and haven't practiced during the week, and 5 of those are their starters.
Yeah.
So
need to take advantage of that if you can. If you can get your guys back. And football is all about matchups. We talk about matchups. We talk about execution. We talk about the fine line that they walk offensively and defensively both. just find a way to kind of pull things together there. Get some guys to make some plays. Have your good players make good plays, and it kind of picks everybody up. But I think the team has to feel, seeing those guys, if 77 gets out there, 71 gets out there, 18, 19, if those guys are all out there practicing, I think it has to feel like that the team has to get a lift from that.
As Dax joked with us yesterday, he saw them over there working, and he looked at the other quarterbacks and said, "Yeah, they look pretty good. They look good to me.
Tyron looks good. Tyron looks good with that ankle fine. Taped up.
Let's go."
Yeah. And 2 by 2, we're going to stem this rising tide as the Cowboys take on the Eagles on Sunday
Biblical
night.
Bill.
And
now.
we continue with more Talking Cowboys on Texas 21 in just a moment.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Check out free-to-play predictive games in the Dallas Cowboys app to win cash prizes up to a $10,000 grand prize. Fans must be 21 or older and log in to play. Download the app for access on game days at dallascowboys.com/app as we welcome you back here to Talking Cowboys on a Philly Friday. As the Cowboys have begun practice, they are indoors inside Ford Center. Final practice of the week, getting set for the Sunday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Can I ask a panel a question on this one? If in fact, okay, maybe if all these guys go, great. But I was kind of thinking when I was doing my run this morning, who are kind of a down the line guy that you felt like if he had to play, needed to really play well in this game? Is there somebody you had in mind that, okay, if 5 starters were out or 5 guys were out, who was somebody, is it Cedric Wilson? Who's one of those guys that you felt like had to play better in this game so that avoid what they had happen in the Jets game? Is there anybody you have in mind that you still kind of are looking at that if they get in the game that you need them to play?
Well, Tavon Austin jumps out for me. I think he led this team in receiving last week. But you may get Cobb and or Cooper back, but you're still probably those guys are gonna be limited potentially.
Sure.
You're gonna need him to make some plays. How about return game as well with him? Because we talked about, I think, Bill, you pointed this out earlier in the week. They're the only team in the league that hasn't started a drive inside opponent's territory. There's a couple different ways Tavon can impact the game. So I think he jumps out to me regardless of if those receivers are ready to go or not.
You got some, Nick? I got some if you want me to go.
No, I got 2.
Go ahead.
Okay.
The 2 guys that would start at offensive tackle.
Okay.
They got to play better.
Yeah.
Got to be better.
Yeah.
And if they can't, then you better give them more help.
Okay.
You can't let 2 guys destroy the offense, because if you can block there, then I don't care who. Well, I do care who you put at wide receiver,
yeah.
But you might be able to operate. But you can't operate if the quarterback's under siege half of the snaps.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll go on the defensive side, and it's not injury that we're really talking about, but this week Tyrone Crawford did go on injured reserve, and I want to see Tristan Hill make the most of his opportunity this week.
That was my next man up.
Was that your next man up?
Yeah.
I was thinking about Jordan Lewis.
Yeah.
I was thinking, this is a type of game where Jordan Lewis, he's going to have to probably
looks like we got a team
play in some coverage. As far as some of the outside stuff. Again, we'll see what happens with Jones in this game. I mean, he was going to start if Jones and Brown were out. Well, then he was going to have to play a role on the outside and then also shift in on the inside on the nickel stuff. This is the type of game where you use Jordan Lewis and try and match him up with some guys that you can, maybe he walks over in the tight end. Maybe he gets some Zach Ertz coverage. We've seen him do this before. He's so competitive. And I was kind of thinking, okay, who's the one guy that has an interception for you? And it happened last week. That guy, his ability to make plays on the ball, create turnovers, stuff like that. Him on the field, I think, is a good thing. And then, I'm interested to see if he, in fact, can keep this job playing well over Anthony Brown after the bye, if that's the case.
Sounds like listening to the owner, president, and general manager this week on his radio show on Tuesday. He's excited about Jordan Lewis and those possibilities too.
Sure, I think that Jordan Lewis brings a certain nastiness to this defense. They need, they need a little bit. But I need an edge. I like what you're saying about Tristan Hill. I think there's a time that Tristan Hill just needs to grow up. He just needs to grow up. He's been on, he's been off. He needs to have a game where he has some success. And I'm not talking he has to go out and have 5, 6, 7 tackles. I'm just saying that when he gets in there, be a little bit of a factor. Be a guy that penetrates, gets in the backfield, works down the line, hustles to get over and help in a tackle. Maybe get some pressure if Carson Wentz, they squeeze we've seen him squeeze the edge. They just haven't done anything in the middle of that defense that gives you any real, okay, gosh, they're making plays up front.
Well, if you look at what they did, the Jets, a lot of times, they're doubling Quinn, they're doubling Collins, and then they're single the other side.
Yeah.
And if you're going to single that other tackle spot, somebody's got to go.
Yeah.
And the way I look at rookies, too, especially if they're not first-round rookies, but a guy who's drafted in the second or third round, you're expecting them, even in their rookie year, to contribute. But I don't expect that much out of them the first half of the year. Well, now we're 7 weeks into this.
Sure.
Thing. So now
enough
it's
practice
time.
Yeah,
it's time. You got acclimated here.
Right.
Okay. You're healthy. Yeah. You've been rested 3 of the first 6 games.
Yeah.
You're inactive 3 of the first 6 games. Got your little taste against the college team Miami.
Right.
Where you had the most snaps you had. Then you played a couple of games since then.
Right.
Well, now they need you.
They need you.
It's time. It's time to go. It's go time.
He just needs to get PO'd and go.
That's
along those lines. Okay, what are you thinking? What are you seeing now with the Jalen Smith rushing the passer and that package that they've used?
I know it's been tough, and Mickey's shaking his head, and I don't disagree there. I think though that, and we answered this question on the mailbag this morning about how do you get more pressure? How does the defense get more pressure in the middle? And is that the best you can do with Jalen Smith? Is that the best avenue for him, or should Jalen Smith not be on the field? I mean, that's your debate right there.
So my question is
Joe Thomas a better defender than Jalen Smith in that situation? And is he a better – but does Jalen Smith give you enough as a pass rusher because you're not getting stuff coming in the middle of the pocket?
What's Tristan Hill supposed to give you?
Pass rush.
Pass rush.
So, I mean, it's basically Jalen Smith has been in that inside spot trying to rush the passer.
Yeah, but the problem is they're only using 3 down linemen and putting Jalen Smith on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he was an effective pass rusher is when they went 3 down, they had the linebackers there, and you didn't know if he was in coverage or blitzing.
That's right.
That's when he was effective.
Right.
So I'm saying let's put Tristan Hill in there in a pass rush capacity, see what he can do, and then you can still bring Jalen Smith as a blitzer or whatever.
I think you're going to see a lot of 97 in this game, though. I think
they have to.
Yeah, you're right. No, Captain Obvious there. I'm sorry, but that okay. Let me ask you this though. Need to see more from, because here's a guy I cheerleaded for all year again, Xavier Woods. I cheerleaded for him at Oxnard and cheerleaded for him. He's getting his hands on the ball. He's making interceptions. He's making plays and all that. Jalen Smith has been a little bit like a disappearing act out there.
Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you know what? They keep playing him close to the line of scrimmage.
I was just thinking that.
They're not letting him play center field.
His strengths are back there trying to make plays on the ball and back there. I mean,
don't disagree with you guys.
Talked about the 92-yard touchdown they had last week as well.
He's covering the running back.
Yeah.
I think
by the way,
maybe they were worried about that Bell running back last week.
And by the way, Jordan Lewis, I don't know what his hand was in that 92-yard touchdown, but he was on the slot receiver and then passed him off.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was supposed to do that, what kind of coverage they had.
Mickey and I talked about that.
It
seemed
caused
like
Heath to take a step that way.
He was focused on that guy, and then that's why I asked you about the angle. Was the angle wrong, or was he just late getting over there?
They said it was the depth issue, though. But
that he was
you guys make points, though. You make points because
that receiver was running free down the slot.
Yeah, that was 92 yards. It's big problems on a lot of areas there. You know, yeah, it's not.
But the
good.
but the best guy to me was Xavier Woods, and he's at the line of scrimmage, and the running back stayed in the block.
Yeah.
Especially coming off a game when you see the impact that a Jamal Adams has as a safety on the other side, you know.
Clear. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's clear.
You'd love to not to compare a fifth rounder with a fifth pick in the draft guy, but I mean, you can see the impact that a safety
both from the
can
state
have.
of Louisiana, though.
Oh, that's right.
Louisiana Tech and the LSU.
Turn them loose.
That's right.
But okay, so we're saying more Xavier Woods, but more Xavier Woods deep.
Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah.
Do we trust Jeff Heath underneath?
But I'd rather underneath than at 50-yard line.
No, you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong.
And
I can hear the people. Joe in Flower Mound's losing his mind right now because he doesn't want Jeff Heath out there anywhere.
They want
Donovan Wilson.
Yeah,
that's who they want.
No, they want Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Eric Berry too. Eric Berry's another one. But that's, to me, that's, okay. Maybe not. Does Thompson do anything for you? I mean, I'm asking a question. I'm asking you guys to say something.
I understand. And here's the other thing I think they were worried about, but this was early in the game, so they hadn't lost Byron Jones yet. Right? They had already lost Anthony Brown. So I think they were looking at Xavier Woods as a guy that, okay, we can use him as a cover guy if we have to go nickel and not bring in C.J. Goodwin to play outside.
Yeah.
So that, I think, went through their minds also.
I think the bottom line is more pressure is going to help this secondary. We talked about it earlier in the week.
How you getting it, Robert?
You got to more pressure. You got to just play better. More
pressure. I know, but it's such a hard thing to say. Okay, how are you going to get more pressure?
They could send more blitzes. If you go back and watch the game, they didn't blitz a lot against the Jets. That's a possibility to try to manufacture some.
And then those guys lock up in coverage, and you have a 92-yard pass. I'm just saying it.
What have we talked about all week? Execution, right?
I know. I'm with you. I'm not trying to. Again, to me, you guys are making great points. The problem is, if you try and do one thing, how does it affect the other?
Well, I know on the 92-yard touchdown, the linebackers were no factors in the play whatsoever. Yeah. They were in the middle of the field, just kind of in zone coverage, and there was no one in the zone.
See that, and then
blitz them.
They get in man coverage, and sometimes they don't cover well enough in man coverage. That's an issue. I mean, so.
All right, we continue with more Talking Cowboys, and how about a faster start to this game on Sunday night when we come back?
Here you go.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not to?
Right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus!
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store and learn how to buy one smartphone and get a second one on us. Based on GWS One score, September 2018.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay, and of course with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Work the Cowboys way and channel the winning business tradition of the Dallas Cowboys and the Jones family at Formation. This dynamic workspace provides an elevated work experience on the Star's aspirational campus with exclusive membership options available to meet varying needs. Choose from open workspaces, dedicated desks, and private offices to leverage our home field advantage for your individual business success. Limited memberships are available now, so apply today at formationatthestar.com.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit. just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Talkin Cowboys continues on a Philly Friday here in the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star in Frisco. Cowboys are on the practice field inside Ford Center as we speak. Bill Jones, Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips, and Brian Broaddus. Got a special guest in studio today. My friend, fourth grader from Johnson Elementary in South Lake, Cash McCourt, who's been listening in. Cash, how are you doing? Doing well? All right. You got a question for us, Cash?
I haven't really seen DeMarcus Lawrence really do anything.
There you go. That's a probing question. Very good. That's a good question.
That's a question that makes me sweat because no, it is a good question, and I think that to me, that's part of the Cash, part of what we've seen with the pass rush, some of the issues, and that he gets his share of double teams, even some triple teams. We've seen that happen to him before. But, can he win on the one-on-one side? Yeah, that's where we haven't seen. I kind of had my observation of maybe not the pass rush moves are up to his standards that we've seen for him before, the way he's able to gain ground with his first step, the quickness, get to his shoulder, then fight with the hands, and then sharpen that edge. We've seen him kind of off balance some in those situations, but he's not going to win many of those double teams. He's not going to win any of the triple teams, but he needs to win a little bit more on the one-on-one stuff. And I think that's where if you asked him, he'll even tell you that too, that he has to find a way when he gets opportunities, when he's by himself, and that he has that tackle on an island, that he takes advantage of that guy a little bit better.
And teams are doing things to counteract their pressure as well. They're trying to get the ball out quick.
Yeah.
Not many teams in the league have been screened as much as they have screen passes, short stuff, quick stuff to try to counteract not only Tank, but Robert Quinn on the other side. But yeah, I know it's simple what I said last break. They've just got to win more. They got to find a way to win more with their front four, and that's going to make everything better, I think, in the secondary as well. And I say that because I think they're capable of doing it. They have proven guys up front.
Bill said something interesting earlier about 7 games into the season. Now time for Tristan Hill. Mm-hmm. So do we think the offseason and training camp matter? Because
I see where you're going here. Yeah.
That guy didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
He didn't play down one until the first game of the season.
Yeah.
He told us early in the season that he wasn't at his form in terms of pad level, technique, all of those things. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Week 7, if it's more. That's a question we need to ask him. Does he feel more comfortable now than he was then? But I'm sure it's a factor, Mick. No question about it.
I think that some of that stuff matters.
Well, he's got a guy he's going against in Lane Johnson that is, he's very familiar with Lane Johnson. And where Lane Johnson struggles the most, and we've seen this from him before, really good athlete coming out of Oklahoma.
Quarterback in high school.
Never really has gotten stronger as he's played. And now he's been in the league since 2013. But he's like one of those guys, well, he's got to get stronger. It's a lot like Nate Soldar and David Bakhtiari and those guys that when they were all coming out of college, you're like, boy, he's got to play stronger. He's got to play stronger. Well, this guy really hasn't gotten stronger. So we'll see if, in fact, that maybe that Lawrence can break him down a little better. Because he's had when Johnson's bad, you can kind of push him a little bit, get him off balance, and then get around him, and that's where people have had some success against him. And we got to make sure Carson Wentz gets on the ground, though. Can't let him spin out of there and do things that he's capable of doing on the move, throwing the ball.
How about for the Eagles on the other side at left tackle, Jason Peters, who's 37 years old, who, by the way, Cash's dad played high school football against in East Texas.
There you go.
Okay. Looks like he may not be going. And Andre Dillard, who they spent a first-round draft pick. So the Cowboys, if they don't have Tyron Smith, they got Cam Fleming.
Right.
Okay. The Eagles, if they don't have Jason Peters, they've got Andre Dillard. What's the difference?
Yeah, but he's a first-round pick.
Exactly, first-round pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And Andre Dillard, though, is one of those guys that when you're a young offensive lineman, the Cowboys have been real fortunate throughout their time here with Will McClay, and how they've done. They've been able to draft those plug-and-play offensive linemen. And maybe a lot of it by necessity. Have to have Travis Frederick. Have to have Zach Martin. Have to have Tyrone Smith. Well, it's Dillard clearly not ready to play yet. With Peters, and Peters has been banged up a bunch in his career, and that's kind of was their insurance policy. Okay, we're gonna go with Jason Peters for one more year, and then play Dillard. Well, when you watch Dillard play, and especially in the Viking game last week, he had problems again with power. This is a group that's got some size to their offensive line, with the exception at tackle. Peters is a big guy. Not him not playing. That limits what they could do on that outside. So Robert Quinn, he needs to take this rookie to task and show him some things. I thought last week, the 2 sacks, one of the sacks was really a nice job of him just having effort, good job of the coverage on the back end. But Dillard, he needs to show Dillard some moves. Dillard's a really, really good athlete. He plays on his feet. He's not on the ground, but he does not have upper or lower body strength right now. He just hasn't developed it yet, and he probably will in 2 or 3 years. But right now, this is a good opportunity for Robert Quinn to get after that backside of Carson Wentz.
All right. Mickey, you ready for a read coming up here in a second?
I will be.
Okay.
Better be.
All right. We might even have a read off when we come back here on Talkin' Cowboys in just a moment.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
So we all know about Jack Black, and it is the holiday season. So if you go to Jack Black, they're giving goodwill towards men. And it's just in time for a little pre-holiday shopping, our complete guide to holiday cheer for all the Jack Black men in your life. If you shop now, you can get to the package that's called All Jacked Up, because you have so many places to go. So you got Deep Dive Glycolic Facial Cleanser, Clean Break Oil-Free Moisturizer.
He's on his game.
And Turbo Wash Energizing Cleanser. Go to getjackblack.com.
Very good.
Man, he did not hesitate at
Do
all.
not issue me a challenge.
We challenge Mickey because we've got Cash McCourt here in studio, 4th grader from Southlake, who, by the way, he's wearing a Dak Prescott camo number 4. He plays quarterback on his football team. Check out your monitor over here. He played in the 3rd grade Super Bowl at SMU last year.
Yeah.
And Cash McCourt lined up. Look at there.
Look at that.
Going to the end zone,
and
Cash McCourt into the end zone for the touchdown. They ran the jet sweep there, and he came around. The receiver came around. Watch this again. There's the jet sweep, and Cash said, no, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
Not even
got
gonna
the
fake
edge and scored a touchdown.
Nice job.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So we got a Super Bowl
player
player
LSU
here.
loses their quarterback after graduation,
go.
Cash can step right in.
That was a complete surprise to Cash. He had no idea I was going to show that. All right, Cash, tell us about some tickets.
Don't miss your chance to see the Cowboys live at A&T Stadium when they return home on Sunday, October 20th, to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Get your tickets now at DallasCowboy.com.
Very good. You notice that?
Give him this.
That was perfect.
It was.
Mickey, usually it's kind of rough getting out of the harbor there. No
It's
problems with
exactly
Cash.
Has to come in on Fridays.
Not only this, but he actually looked up when he read it as if he's looking into the television
Teleprompter.
camera.
Nice.
Teleprompter.
So there you go.
Absolutely.
And might I
Like
say,
he was reading the gospel in church on the pulpit there.
there you go, Mick. Might I say, my wife teaches 4th grade. You're way more well-behaved than anybody she teaches, because I hear about it every night. Way to go, Cash.
We need
Nice
some
job.
picks to click Sunday night.
Man, who went first last time? That was a disaster. I think I was all. I think I might. Did I? I didn't have Gallup, did I?
I don't
I had
remember.
no. You took Marcus, I think, and I piggybacked off you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, that was not good.
Yeah, so
I need to think about that next time. You got somebody in mind right now, Mickey? Or
I sure don't. I didn't even think about it.
He was too busy getting ready for
throwing
his
in those
challenge.
25-cent words for his read for style points.
The whole defense needs to click.
Does anybody? Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Does anybody like Tony Pollard in this game?
Well, I was kind of going there, and that was also to answer your question about who needs to step up, because I was banging that drum the other day.
Maybe he gets an opportunity.
Well, that's why I'm a little hesitant. I don't know how many snaps he's going to get. He got 7 last week. I'll go with him because I think, especially if those 2 receivers are banged up or they don't play, they need other ways to manufacture offense, and he has the versatility to do it. They drafted him in part because he was a receiver. Use him in different ways. I'm sure they're looking for ways to do it, but for whatever reason, they haven't done it.
How about together?
Yeah. I'm with Mickey on this.
Pollard together and then throw him the ball.
Yes.
Because can their linebackers run with him? I don't think so.
I've never begged for a player to be on the field more than him in this game. Yes, absolutely.
Because think of what Zeke did last year.
Yes.
Catching the ball in those 2 games, as you pointed out to me.
There was, in fact, the last game, which was a very low-scoring game until the fourth quarter.
Right.
And then
it probably will be that way
crazy
again,
in the fourth quarter. Wound up being a 29-23 overtime win. Of course, Cooper had all 3 of his touchdown catches after the fourth quarter started.
Yeah.
But Zeke in that game had 12 catches for 78 yards, and he carried the ball another 28 times for 113 yards. So he had 40 touches in that game for 192 yards.
Yeah,
and the other game, he had 6 catches, 36 yards.
Yeah. Well, Zeke. We talk about, I think that, like Mickey was talking about the defense, I think you need both these backs. Yeah, Zeke. Yeah, Pollard. Yeah, find a way, Kellen Moore, to kind of get things going with that. Maybe this week, because they didn't have a full complement of wide receivers, they were able to do what you're saying, Rob. Hey, let's look at some 21 personnel here. Let's get Blake Jarwin on the field. Let's get 2 backs in there. Let's try to tack down the field a little bit and kind of get some things going here.
So my guy is Zeke.
On that end, yeah.
And Zeke is, and it's catching the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah. Make them pay. They can make you pay because Miles Sanders can catch the ball.
One screen maybe in the last week's game.
How about 3?
Yeah. I mean,
last game. Yeah.
What good things happen when they use him like that?
Or not even a screen. Just dump it off to him. Let him go.
Yeah.
See, I think in the second half of that game last week, I think Jason Garrett told Kellen Moore, even though they're trailing 21-6, feed Zeke.
Yeah,
this is what our offense is built around. And with what happened with the injuries, you don't have Cooper, you don't have Cobb.
You're not stopping
and there's
anybody.
a risk. Yeah, and there's a risk there that if you have an 8-minute drive and only kick a field goal or miss a field goal like they did on the first 2 possessions, then time's going to run out on you, which it wound up it did.
Yeah,
but I think that's where this team is built around that running back. And I'm not saying you have to run him on first down and get 1 yard, but use him in various different ways.
Him and Pollard both.
Yeah.
And think also about what happened at wide receiver. I guarantee you Tavon Austin didn't get snaps playing out wide.
No,
right?
Not at all.
Now all of a sudden he's got to go there, or Cedric Wilson's got to go out there, where the backup guy there is Devin Smith, and you took the uniform away from him,
right?
Because you didn't think that Amari is going to go out. Now Gallup's got to play probably the other spot, right? And everything gets discombobulated. So at halftime, you have an opportunity to adjust and say, okay, here are the plays we need to get to. This stuff doesn't just happen miraculously on the sideline.
Right. How about pick-to-click Chris Richard?
I was going to say pick-to-click Kellen Moore, but you go with Chris Richard.
I mean, this is an important game. They've got a lot of weapons, but they're compromised in some spots. I mean, I think it's good news that Deshaun Jackson's not going to play. But you got to figure out, Jeffrey, they like to pick, they like to rub routes, they like to do all. You have got to fight through all that. Chris Richard's going to need to mix his coverages in this game. I think he needs to figure out how does he want to play against Zach Ertz when they get in third down situations. Is it Lewis? Is it Heath? Is it Woods? They need to figure some things out. They need to come up with some pressures. They need to get their linebackers going. Maybe the way that Chris Richard calls this game and matches wits with Doug Peterson step for step might be the best thing to happen. Maybe he could get some things going. Like Rob says, bring that blitz, get them to tackle well, make some good adjustments, and kind of control this Philadelphia offense and give the Cowboys an offense a chance to have a couple more possessions.
We've seen Byron Jones match up with Ertz in the past.
You have,
now, his health pending. Who do you think draws that assignment? The combination, like you were saying?
I think there's going to be a combination. I just think that you got to take advantage of the fact that Jordan Lewis is going to play in the nickel and be on the field. Maybe you don't have to get to your dime. You just get to him being out there, and it's like, okay, and I'm not saying it probably has to be every snap, but we've seen him play against big-time players before and do well. This might be another one of those opportunities.
And what speedy slot do they have without Deshaun Jackson on the team? I mean, they've got Aguilar, they got Jeffrey, they got Arcega-Whiteside, the rookie, and they got Matt Collins.
They use all of them. They use all those guys. So, you're going to see Aguilar in there. They like to run on third downs and third and shorts. Get ready for bunch formation screens. I mean, the Dallas corners, safeties have got to be ready. When that ball goes to the outside, they've got to rally because they use big bodies to just try and push you and get that first down. Get ready for the picks. Get ready for the rubs. Get ready for all those things. Get ready for the back circle.
Sanders. So can you protect Byron Jones by maybe not starting him but putting him in your change-up defenses and put him on the tight end? And then have somebody on the outside.
Not a bad plan, Mickey. But it's that means
because they don't have anybody else that can cover Zach Ertz unless it's Woods.
But isn't that the way that they did him in the Giants game opening day? Right? Remember, he didn't play. He didn't start the game. They started with Awuzie and Brown, and then brought him in certain packages and stuff like that. Mickey might have a pretty good idea about that. That's something we need to kind of think about going in this game.
That was Byron's role early in his career. Was every top tight end he faced him one-on-one.
He did.
I'm okay with that.
Jeff Heath with a heck of a play though on that fourth down last year in Philadelphia to come up and keep him. Jeff Heath.
Yeah. And in fact, I just happened to have it right here. Byron Jones had 27 snaps in that opener against the Giants, and Jordan Lewis had 37 snaps, while Anthony Brown had 59. So there you go. Yeah. All right, we've got one more segment of Talking Cowboys
about my pick
coming
to click?
up. We're going to get that. That's coming up next.
Getting shortchanged here on
Nick
this show.
missed his opportunity for a pick to click earlier. He lost the challenge. Now let's see if he can make it up. Coming up next.
For learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
It's time for Tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper Soft Coolers at OtterBox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
A Philly Friday continues here. Final 5 minutes of the show, and as we get you set for Cowboys and Eagles on Texas 21, again, as we said earlier in the show, we've been extended for another month. We're going to take you all the way up to at least Thanksgiving. Now will this Cowboys season be extended another month? It's going to be a very interesting month ahead. Of course, we got a bye week next week. But Cowboys-Eagles this week, and the schedule gets tough the second half of the season. Before we get to mix, pick, to click, how strong is this Eagles team? I made the contention earlier this week that this game, it's important. Obviously, it's very important. But I don't know how strong this Eagles team that they could run away with the division.
No, I don't think they can. I mean, everybody's kind of talking about the second half of their season. They're pretty much the same as the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's the same schedule.
Look at their losses: Atlanta, Detroit, Minnesota. That people will say, look at their wins. I mean, they had they beat the Jets, Washington. Who else am I
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Green Bay. If Green Bay would have just punched that ball in,
or if they would have called interference on the end line.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's true. You know what? But it is funny though when we get to the scores, we do our thought. If Dallas was down, I think this is really, really key. If Dallas was down all these players, I think Philadelphia would be good enough to beat Dallas. But if they get back, say, the 5 guys that practice today can play in this football game and play through the whole game, I think that Dallas.
You want to go ahead with your pick?
Oh no, I will. I think I'm going to bank on today that Dallas is going to get these guys back. I'm going to bank on Tyrone Smith and Collins and those guys being able to play, and I think that Dallas will be good enough this game. I think it's going to come down to some protection. They're going to have to find a way to throw the football. The Eagles have not been able to play pass defense very well. So if all things being back, I'm going to go with Dallas 27, Philadelphia 24. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think I always talk about give me one more possession, give me one more thing to kind of hang my hat on. And if all these guys come back and play, then this team will win this game. But if those guys didn't play, I would totally say Philadelphia has got more players available than what Dallas does.
Mickey, do you want to go with your pick to click as well as your pick to win the game?
I can do both.
Yeah, he's had long enough to think about it.
And I joked about what I was going to pick to click. I'm just taking the defense.
Yeah.
They've given up 58 points in 2 games. Time to cut that back and play better overall. And, we all talk about why the offense isn't starting well. Well, the defense hadn't started well either.
No.
Right? Now, they've been put in a couple difficult situations with turnovers, but still, they got to play better. So, having said that, my pick to click, or my pick to win will be in the true spirit of these 2-point games, Cowboys 26, Eagles 24.
26-24.
Because
they went on a late safety.
As we know, the more you lose in this league, the closer you are to winning.
And the Eagles could say that, too.
Yeah. That's right. And when the Cowboys do win this game, the refrain's going to be the Cowboys still haven't beaten a team with a winning record.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Don't worry about it. Just
get to 4-3. Who cares what people are saying about that?
It will come up.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't.
I know it doesn't, but it will come up.
All right, Rob Phillips.
I like Brian's score 27-24. I think this game could get decided in the first quarter or the first half because neither one of these teams, in their 3 losses, 47-9, the Cowboys have been outscored in the first half. Eagles in their 3 losses, 54-26. Somebody's got to get some traction going. Dak Prescott said something yesterday that really resonated. They're very close on some things. They've just got to tighten up, execute a little bit better. But I think it's going to come down to which side. This pretty much all games. Who wins the line of scrimmage? Is he going to have enough time to do what he needs to do? And defensively, can they get after Wentz? If they do both of those things, yes, I think playing at home, they've got a good chance to win this game.
Okay, so Mickey has picked 26-24.
Mm-hmm.
Rob picked 27-24, piggybacking off Brian, who picked 27-24. I'm going to leave my pick to young Cash McCourt over here. Cash, who do you think is going to win this game?
Cowboys. 28-24.
28-24. So we got 26-24, 27-27, and 28-24.
You want to pick 25 so we can? Yeah.
Okay, 25-24. I got 25.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a pretty unstable number.
Yeah. That'd be an unstable game.
Yeah.
Sort of like 12
it's been an unstable season
It's been an unstable
far.
season, no doubt.
That's right. All right, so we are about out of time on this edition of Talkin' Cowboys. On Sunday, what are you going to be doing, Brian?
Well, we got an hour before. We'll have our show from the Star here. I don't think we're going outside, so we'll be from the studio, but it should be around 6 o'clock will be our pregame show, so check it out on all our platforms.
Okay.
Checking in from the sideline with Nick Eatman for the pregame live show, and hopefully Stephen Jones will join us as usual.
Okay.
Pregame, postgame on The Fan.
Pregame, postgame on 105.3 The Fan, which is the station that Cash McCourt listens to.
There you go.
He told me on his way to practice for the Green Dragons. And I'll be on Cowboys Game Day on CBS 11 with Danny White, 10:30 Sunday morning. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you again on Monday.